Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome to a new series. I am going to be playing Fights in Tight Spaces. If you haven't heard of it, I don't blame you. It's something that I saw, I think it was on Facebook like ages ago, and I thought I must keep that in mind, and then I forgot about it, and then I saw it had popped up on early access. So yeah, this is an early access game. I don't often play games in early access. I do buy early access games from indie developers every now and then to support them, but I usually just kind of, you know, put them to one side in Steam until they're finished, and then if I ever remember to go back and play them, I do. But for an early access game, I've been playing this an awful lot. I've already put about 24 hours into it in just over a week. So if you're unfamiliar with Fights in Tight Spaces, it is a turn-based tactical fighting game with deck building. It has an art style very similar to Superhot. Essentially what it boils down to is it's a tactical puzzler. Now the random element of it might not be for everybody, but it's actually quite fun. Let's go in and show you what it's all about. So we're going to start with a new game. The daily play doesn't seem to be enabled yet. I've never been able to do that. I think that's something that they intend to add. They have just recently done an update. So we're going to go in. There is a little bit of a story. So you are Agent 11 and you're being sent out on all of these missions. We're not going to bother reading the story because, to be quite honest, it's just completely superfluous. So there are 4 starting decks that you can choose from. Now, when you first boot this game up, you'll only be able to choose the balanced deck. The other 3 decks actually unlock after you've done several runs. So it's not really a roguelike in the sense that you carry anything forward from one playthrough to another, but you can unlock the different decks. So balanced, as you might expect, gives you a good mix of attack, defense, combo, positioning, counter attacks and stuff like that. Counter Striker is very much about blocking, counter attacking, defending and moving your opponents around. Aggressive is very much about hitting really hard and really quickly, and Trickster is very much using combos and special finishes and knockdowns and stuff like that. The ones that I tend to prefer are balanced and aggressive. Aggressive is nice and useful early on, but in the late game you really need to have a lot of positioning and control because some of the enemies are really, really tough. But I'll go into that more as we get there. So if we click on the decks, you can see that each deck has a selection of cards, and these are the cards that are all in the starting deck. If I was to click on a different deck, you can see that we have the cards in this one. Now, some of these decks will have the same cards as other decks. There are some that are generic. I don't believe there are any cards that are limited to one specific deck. It's just what you get in the starting deck. However, you also get a trait or a perk. So Trickster has increased maximum and per turn momentum by 1. Momentum is basically the resource used for playing cards in a fight, which is this number in the top right hand corner of every card. So basically increases the amount of cards you can play. With aggressive, you start with Tactician. That lets you increase the number of cards you draw each turn. Counter Striker gives you Steel Body, adds 8 to your max health, and Balanced gives you an emergency move. Gain an emergency move card at the start of each fight. We're going to go in as Balanced, and I'll explain what the cards do as we go through. So this is the mission select. You can start with the training, which we're not going to do. We're going to start at the first story mission, which is the Death's Head Biker Gang. Now, initially, that's going to be the only one that's unlocked, and after you complete it, you will progress through to the others. They are supposed to be adding more in the coming updates until the game is released. Now, once you've gotten past one of these and you get to the next one, you can literally just start at the last one that you got to. So I've got right through to the final mission, to the final boss, in fact, before I lost. The only thing I would say is, if you decide to go like right into one of the last ones, it gives you this warning: by starting your game on a later mission, you will make the game more difficult as you will forego any rewards you would earn through playing from the start. And that's quite important because as you play through the game, you get more cards for your deck. You can increase your maximum health, you can increase your maximum combo, you can increase your maximum momentum. So it's well worth playing through from the start. So we're going to go in, ignoring all the story, and we get this screen here, which is basically a list of all of the different fights that we can get through until we get all the way up to, and it doesn't scroll very easily, until we get all the way up to the very final room, which is where the boss will be. And we have to choose the route that we take through this. It is to a certain degree as far as I can tell, procedural. Well, the first one we don't have an option. We've only got a single choice here. So it is a fight in a restroom. There are 3 targets, and the rewards are a new card and some money. And there are weakened targets. So that's the information we have for this. So let's go ahead and show you how it works. So as the name suggests, fights in tight spaces. We're in a very small room here. It's a 4x4 room. We can rotate the room around, and you can see that 2 of the spaces in the corner here are taken up by the stall and the sink. There's also an open door here, so whenever you see a tile that's got this skull and lined pattern, that means that's a ring out. If you knock somebody out through that, because there are moves that push people, if you knock somebody out onto one of those tiles, they are instantly out of the fight, no matter how much health they have. This is our character here, Agent 11. We have 40 hit points. You can see above his head when I mouse over him, or if I hold down the Alt key, it brings that information up for everybody. You can also see that on the left hand side of the screen. This is the amount of health we have, 40 of 40. This is our combo builder. We have 0 of 10 because we haven't hit anybody yet. As we hit people, we will gain combo points, and those combo points can be used to either boost damage on certain cards, or certain cards can actually be used only by spending combo points. Whenever combo points are involved in damage on a card, you'll see the number in yellow. So like here on Hammer Fist, the amount of damage, which is the fist icon on any damage, it's any damage card we have. Any card that does damage has a fist icon, and the number is yellow. It means it's affected by combo. So as you can see on this one, it deals 4 damage plus 1 damage per combo level, but we don't have any combo level at the moment. And then this down here represents our momentum. We are on 3 of 3, so we've got 3 to spend on. Maximum is 3. We'll get 3 on the next turn. We have 10 cards left in our deck to draw, and then we've got the 6 cards out. We actually start with 15, but the reason it looks like the 16 is because we start with that emergency move card, which is the special card that we get from that trait that we have. So what have we got? We've got 2 different bad guys. Now the bad guys are all slightly different. It might be very hard to tell on YouTube. These 2 guys are a slightly different colour. This one here is a darker red than this one, but in this instance it doesn't seem to make any difference for them. But there are definitely lots of different bad guy archetypes, and you'll learn what they do. So these red circles in front of the bad guys shows you where they can attack. There's nothing under my feet, so they can't attack me on the next turn because they're not close enough. Also, if I mouse over them above their head, it doesn't have the icon for saying they have a target, and it doesn't say on the right hand side on their information panel that they have a target. It says they're waiting for target. So both of these guys have a short range punch. Anything that says short range means 1 tile that deals 6 damage, and you can see that above their head because they have a little red number a little white number on a red background with a fist icon that says number 6. So they both do 6 damage. You'll also notice this guy has a number 1 and this guy has a number 2. That is the order in which they will attack. So what I'm going to do here is I only have 1 ability that lets me do any damage. I'm going to use that. So Hammer Fist will cost me 1 momentum. It has a range of either 1 or 2 tiles, and it will do 4 damage. So if I hit this guy, that takes away 4 of his health, and I stay on the tile that I was on. Now what I could try and do, because I have some momentum left, is I could use this dash. So it's 1 momentum. It allows me to move up to 2 tiles. Now watch what happens to my combo point. I've got 1 combo point here from attacking this guy. If I dash forwards, it goes down to 0. Every tile you move reduces your combo by 1. I'm going to play counter. Counter basically gives me 8 armor, which means his hit for 6 won't do any damage to me because it'll all be absorbed by the armor, and it has counter attack. Deal 10 damage to incoming attackers. So if he tries to hit me, we will hit him back. I'm also going to play quick block because it doesn't cost any momentum, gives me an extra 6 block. I don't need it, but regardless, whenever you finish a move, any cards you have in your hand get discarded. Once your deck is empty, the discard pile is reshuffled and goes back into the deck. So let's end the turn. So number 1 goes first. He hits me. The armor absorbs it. I hit him back. He now has 6 health left. So we can try and finish him off. There's a couple of different ways that we can do this. So because I'm standing right next to him, I'm actually going to use the push ability. The push ability doesn't cost any momentum. Push is really useful for knocking people out of doors because pushing an enemy 1 tile means we move them backwards. if we were standing in this tile here and this bad guy was standing in this tile here, we could push him straight out the door and it would be game over. But what we're actually going to do is... actually, no, I'm not going to push him in this instance. And I'll tell you the reason why. I was thinking that this was my upgraded card, but it's not. So what I'm going to do is just give the guy a kick. So this is front kick. It will deal 6 damage and push 1 adjacent target. So what this will actually do is 10 damage. You'll see the number above his head probably before he dies. No, it's too quick. Too quick. So basically, if you push somebody into a wall or an object, if you push them and they cannot move, they take 4 damage from whatever they hit. You'll now notice this circle with a triangle, with an arrow has appeared in it, and that means that that's where the next bad guy is going to spawn. So there are 3 enemies on this level, but we only started with 2. So that's where the next one is going to spawn. Now, unfortunately, I don't really have an awful lot that I can do here. I can step closer to this guy, but I don't have any way to block, and I'm also going to lose one of my combo points. So as he can't hit me, there's no point me moving anywhere. We'll just skip the turn. So we've got a different bad guy come in this time. This one only deals 5 damage. He still has 20 health, but this guy has a kick. So basically it has a range of 2 tiles and does 1 push. So this guy's got 20 health. I'm having a look what I've got here. So I've got a quick kick and a long strike. So the quick kick costs 1 momentum, has a range of 1, does 4 damage, but it also pushes the enemy back 1 tile. So if I use that on him, it's going to knock him backwards. Now I don't have to worry about him hitting me because he's too far away. So long strike has a range of 1 to 2 tiles, and as it says there under the ability, maintain range. So we can do 6 more damage to him, and we stay 2 tiles away. This guy's facing forwards. You can see the circles on the ground where he can attack, so I don't have to worry about him. Now the quick strike here, I can't use it on him because it's too far away. What I can do is I could use slip. Now slip costs 1 momentum, but it gives me 2 options. It allows me to move 1 or move around a target and gain 1 momentum. So if I use this, I didn't let me gain the momentum. I think it's only if you move diagonal. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's not too clear when you'll get that back. I should have used my emergency move, which wouldn't have cost me anything, but ho-hum, it doesn't really matter. So sometimes I have really good games of this, and other times I do not. So this guy's got 10 health left. Can we take him out? Well, not right now. We can do a front kick, which will push him back. So I don't have to worry about him hitting me. He has 4 health left. We also have a time limit here. So as long as we beat all of the bad guys, you can see defeat the enemies, we get the cards. We get the extra card. If we complete it within 3 turns, that's 3 turns from now, I think it was originally like 6, we will get some cash, which is useful for healing, upgrading your cards, getting new cards and stuff like that. So I'm only going to worry about this guy who does 5 damage. I can't use head smash because he isn't next to a wall, because there's an open door next to him. So I can use my hammer fist. So you've got to be careful because you always want to make sure you save enough points to use another card. So I need to make sure I can counter and try and block that. You do carry your health over from one fight to the next, so you've really got to be careful not to take too much damage in a single fight because it will carry over. So I only have 1 offensive ability, which is this combo finisher. So as you can see, it doesn't have the momentum symbol in the top right hand corner. It has this yellow circular one. It's the combo meter, so it needs 3 combo points. If I have 3 or more combo points, I can do this move. If I have fewer, I can't. It has a range of 1 to 2. It does 18 damage at the moment, which is 8 base damage plus 2 times my combo, so that's 8 plus 5 times 2, which is 18. And it also lets me advance, so I move forwards. And it ends the combo, but I don't think I'll move forwards by taking this guy out. If I was attacking somebody 2 tiles away, I would move forwards. But I don't move forwards here. If I was attacking this guy with that ability, I'd step here and then do it. So this guy can technically hit me right now because he has a range of 2. So my options are to either block or move to the side. I'm just going to move to the side. What I could do is I could double move I've not got any combo because I've just spent it all. So I'm going to move right here in front of him. Hope he doesn't move and just turns around, which he has done. And now I have the push ability. I can just demonstrate that, pop, straight out the door, game over for him. So we've defeated all the enemies and got the new card. And got 30 euros. So that's basically how it works. Now we get to pick our cards. These are all good solid choices. Shift is a movement card, which I really like, because being able to move around your opponents is really good. Quick Kick is also a nice card because it shoves enemies back one tile, which is also really nice if they only have a range of one, because you can keep them out of the way. Right Spin Kick is also a very useful one for positioning and knocking people out of the ring. These become really important later on in the game when the enemies have so much armor and health they're almost impossible to whittle down. The only way to really deal with them is to try and get Ring out. So I prefer to get cards like this. I'm going to go for the Right Spin Kick. This doesn't cost momentum to spend, and being able to move someone sort of diagonally sideways is really, really useful to stop them attacking you, and I'll show you why later. So we're going to pick that card there, and then we get some more options. You can see our accumulated money here on the left hand side. We can view our deck at any time and see what cards are in there. So now we get a couple of choices. The path diverges, and what we might want to do is look further up, because there are certain places we can use, like here the gym and medical. Medical allows us to increase our maximum health. It allows us to restore any health that we've lost, and it allows us to remove any long-term injuries. All of these cost money. Or we could go to the gym. The gym allows us to buy new cards, it allows us to upgrade existing cards, or it allows us to remove cards from our deck. Because obviously if you have too many cards in your deck, you might end up in a situation where you're not drawing the cards that you want. Again, they all cost money. Now, I generally get so many cards through the course of the game that I tend to just try and max out my maximum health. So we're going to go through towards medical. If I took the restroom option here, I'd be railroaded down this left-hand track and have to go to the gym. So we're going to go to the alleyway, which will allow us to pick the tattoo studio or the bar afterwards. So into the alleyway we go. So we've got a slightly bigger play space here. This one is 6x4. We do have this dumpster in the way though, which is taking up some space. We've got a ring out down here in the bottom through this single door, and we've got a double ring out over here through the garage door. We've got a couple of these guys again that have the 2 tile kick and the push, but we've also got these 2 guys who have guns. So they shoot in a straight line, doesn't matter how far away you are, and they do 10 damage. That is something we definitely don't want to be hit by. So we need to work out how we're going to get past them. You always start, even though like the hand you get is random, you will always start with 1 movement card. It's very clever. Even if you don't have any movement cards left in the draw pile, it'll take one out of discard and put it into your hand. So you'll always end up with at least 1 movement tile. So trying to work out what we can do with these guys, and well, there's a couple of little tricks we can do. I don't have a push or anything, which is a little bit annoying. So let's try and get somebody out of a door. We don't want to get too cornered by these guys if we can. Let's go and move all the way to the back where this gunman is here. And I'm going to use a long strike on him to do 6 initial damage. That gives me a combo point. And then he's got 14 health. Now, I could use head smash on him, but what you see here is this little icon. This means he will turn to face me. I don't want him to turn to face me, because then if I end the turn, he will shoot me. So we don't want to use that yet. So we're just going to end turn. Nothing's going to happen apart from people repositioning. So we haven't taken any damage here. Now this is a little bit of a problem, because I've got both of these 2 guys aiming at me, and that's not good. So what I'm going to do here is show you how... I can't get the right spin kit to work in this occasion. This one's... Alright, I've got my emergency move, which is, I suppose, what I'm going to have to do. Or take one of the guys out. That's my other option. So we could do a front kick for 6, followed by a hammer fist for 6 again, because we'd have a combo point. So that'd be 12. And then the right spin kick would only give us 6. But he would push into somebody else. Okay. But we would also need to step, so we would lose 1. But I think that's fine, yep. So we're going to hit this guy here once. And that's already done 10 damage. 6 damage from the kick, and another 4 damage because the push knocked him into the bin. So now he's only got 10 health. So what I could do now is use the right spin kick, which would kick him to the right, which doesn't work because there's somebody standing in that spot, but he took 4 damage because they hit each other. And what I could do, again, the Hammer Fist would turn him to face towards me, so that's not really that much of a useful ability. So we will end turn. There isn't a time limit on this one. All we've got is to defeat 4 enemies and to get a 5 combo. We've already got it up to 3, so let's not move. So you just noticed this guy got shot. And the reason for that is the gunman had a target, but because I moved out of the way, he still attacks if he can. Which means he then shoots his own guy. And this is another very important concept of this game, is trying to get your the enemies to sort of fight each other. It's really nice when it works. This guy's got 14 health. Now, I could use my combo finisher, but remember what we're trying to do here is we're trying to build up to 5. So I'm going to use quick kick on the guy. Only does 4 damage, but again, it pushes him into this guy. So it'll actually do 8 damage to him and 4 damage to the guy behind. So, you know, that's a 12 damage in a single hit, which is really good. Now, I've got a little bit of a struggle here. I could push. It doesn't cost me anything, so let's go ahead and do it. So it's another 4 damage to this guy and 4 damage to the guy behind. I've got my 5 combo now. That's great. So let's go ahead and use that combo finisher. It's a bit of a waste at 18, but we want to take the gunman out because I don't want to get shot. He does the most damage. Now, I can still be hit by either of these 2 guys, so we're just going to dash to the side now. That's fine. So they've moved back towards me. So I'm going to... Who's got the lowest health? This one over here. So let's just go ahead and use the front kick. So it did 6 damage, but again, it pushed him into the fence, so he takes the extra 4. And then this guy, we can finish him off. So we're going to dash over there, and we can do 12 damage with the head smash. You can only use head smash if the opponent is next to a wall or an object, because you basically have to do this. And there we go. He is out. So we've defeated all the enemies, and we got a 5 combo. We get 30 euros. So what have we got? These again are all nice cards. Throw is nice, but because it actually downs an opponent. But you can't hit a downed opponent. I'm going to go for Long Strike because I just find it's a much more generic, useful all-round card. So Long Strike it is. And there we are. That is basically how fights in tight spaces work. I'm going to do a few more videos of these because it's quite a short game at the moment. That said, it does take a couple of hours to get through it, especially if you sit and take your time and think about the moves that you are making. There are a lot more different cards to come. There are a lot more different enemy types to come. They get a lot tougher, the fights get a lot harder, so I want to show you the progression. They are still adding new enemy types, new map types, and new cards, because I said the game is in early access. There's a lot more to come. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and I hope that you're going to enjoy the videos that follow it. If you have, please do consider leaving a like on the video and a comment and subscribing if you hadn't already, because it really helps the channel to grow. And I will see you next time. Until then, goodbye for now.